So, very good morning to everyone here. We'll start with the last topic of Unit 1 of Environmental Economics, that is Paper 2, Entropy Law. So, I'll request Diksha to start the PPT so that we can just share the screen and show you the PPT and then we can discuss. I think it's visible to everyone. This is entropy law, which is the last topic of Unit 1. Now, see this. What do you mean by entropy as a concept? This entropy law, entropy is a thermodynamic property of a system. So this word is derived from the law of thermodynamics, which you must have studied in your physics. Once heat has been absorbed by the system, the state of the system changes. In a new state, the system has a different entropy, but there are no different kinds of the thermodynamic entropy depending on the source that entropy originates from. So, the word entropy is derived from thermodynamic property of a system. There are two laws of thermodynamics which are there in the subject area of physics. So this whole entropy law has been derived from the discipline of physics, and it has now been circulated in the paper of environmental economics, because like we studied that law of energy and conservation yesterday, where we tried to look at the energy or the matter which can neither be created nor destroyed. So similar property is here when we talk about the thermodynamic property. So once the state of heat is absorbed by the system, then the state of system changes and the system has a different entropy, but there are no different kinds of thermodynamic entropy. So that means only the form of the system will change if you melt a metal, or when you heat the metal, then but then the whole entropy is not going to change. Only the thermodynamic entropy is going to change depending upon the source through which the entropy originates from. All process of macroscopic change are irreversible. Examples include natural processes. इरिवर्सिबल माने ये जो प्रोसेस है इसको आप रिवर्स नहीं कर सकते हो. जितने भी मैक्रोस्कोपिक चेंजेस की बात हम नेचर में करते हैं, these processes are irreversible, they cannot be reversed. Like for example, aging of a human body, now you cannot reverse it, it is irreversible. Growing and blooming of a flower, now that is also irreversible. As well as technical processes such as burning of fossil fuels. Now if fossil fuels are burnt, you cannot create back that fossil fuel which you have burned. Coal, if you burn the coal, then it will turn into ashes, but it will not become coal again. So that is what we want to say, that all these processes of macroscopic changes through these examples show that this process is irreversible, it cannot be reversed. Now the laws of thermodynamics, from which this word entropy has been derived. The natural laws which govern the environment and which are therefore of interest to us are the first two laws of thermodynamics, and these relate to closed systems. Strictly speaking, the earth is not a closed system as it receives energy from the sun, but it is almost a closed system. So that is the similarity which you want to say, that the two laws of thermodynamics are applicable to the closed system, and earth is not a closed system. Earth derives its energy from sun, but otherwise more so it is a closed system, and that is why the laws of thermodynamics are equally applicable to the laws of nature. Yeah, now I think I'm audible. So the first law of thermodynamics we were talking about. Diksha, can you just back the slide, the previous one? Yeah. The natural laws which govern the environment and which are of interest to us are the first two laws of thermodynamics, and these relate to closed systems. And as I told you, that earth is not a very closed system as the other scientific laws, but then earth is close to nature and it derives its energy from sun, but it is almost a closed system, and that is why it is the laws of thermodynamics which applies to physics is also can be applied to earth and nature and environmental economics. Next. Now, what is the first law of thermodynamics? The first law states that wherever energy is converted in form, its total quantity remains unchanged. For example, we just discussed that energy or matter can neither be created nor destroyed. And here is a famous example by Common and Staggy, who gave the example of coal-fired electricity generating plant. क्या होता है जब हम किसी भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेटिंग प्लांट में कोल का यूज़ करते हैं इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को जनरेट करने के लिए, तो फर्स्ट वी हीट द कोल विच प्रोड्यूसेस इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. नाउ अ बाय प्रोडक्ट ऑफ दिस प्रोसेस इज वेस्ट हीट. Some residues are there, some wastage is there, which is transported away as cooling water or gases, जो कि हवा में उड़ जाता है, मतलब इन टर्म्स ऑफ गैसेस और कूलिंग वाटर. एंड इन एडिशन वेरियस वेस्ट गैसेस आर एमिटेड इनटू द एटमॉस्फेयर which causes pollution such as acid rain. Acid rain is harmful for the crops because then these wastage or these harmful gases in terms of pollutants evaporate in the air, which causes a damage to the, which forms the acid in the rainwater, and this harms the crops. So in a way it is a kind of harmful product, byproduct of this coal which has been used for the electricity generating plant. So we can use this first law of thermodynamics in terms of evaluating a process of the economic development, in terms of process of industries, in terms of industrial development, and see that what are the byproducts or residues of that plant which has been evaporated, which has been evaporated in terms of pollutants, and which is causing harm to the environment as well as plants as well as other animals, and in a way creates a disturbance in the environmental balance. So this coal is one of the examples of this production. So energy can neither be created nor destroyed, it is a fact, but then the energy which is converted into this kind of harmful substance is going to be analyzed through the first law of thermodynamics. Now say this. Uh, According to the first law, matter or energy can be neither created nor destroyed economic production only convert one form of matter into another with the help of labor. जैसे अब आपने कोल को यूज किया इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेटिंग प्लांट में with the help of labor. Now coal mines में with the help of labor you are doing the economic production of electricity generation. Now all economic goods remain temporarily in use before being disposed of as a waste. Now some of the inputs will not be converted into output, some of the inputs will be converted into output. Those inputs which are not being able to convert into the productive production, they will be going off as a waste. Now wastes still exist in the environment but in a different form. Now they are convert themselves into, say, cool air or the gases which are harmful, and then they turn into acid rain or other pollutants. Like you must have studied in unit 3, the air pollution, the water pollution, the noise pollution. So these are the different types of pollutants which go in these different forms, and then they create pollution and harmful to the environment. So wastage exists, but then the waste take the different form. Now they are not in the form of coal, but they are in the form of pollutants, they are in the form of harmful gases. Next. Now, if you want to substitute the natural resources with something, you cannot, because natural resources are the free gifts of nature which will have to be used in the production process. Capital is also not having any substitute. You need capital for production, but they are complementary in production, means they complement each other. Natural resources and capital both complement each other, and both are important factors of production. You can't do without them. So more production and consumption means more depletion of resources and more pollution in the environment. Linear movement of resources, as we can see in this diagram, the movement is going in a straight line, because natural resources leading to economic goods production, leading to wastage, and waste means you need to have proper waste disposal mechanism, otherwise it is going to create more depletion of economic resources and more pollution. If my voice is not clear, I don't know, somebody is saying that, because I have connected with the hotspot, so maybe because of that, I don't know. So we will give this PPT in the group, you can see it, and then next time whenever we have another class, if you are not able to understand anything, we'll repeat it. Now, to include environmental factors into production, ये आपका production function है, which you have studied in even first year, where we say Q is a function of L, K, M and Kn. Q is what? The total quantity of production. Function of what? L, labor. Km is man-made capital, and Kn is natural capital, right? So there are two kinds of capital which is being used in the production process. One is man-made capital like machines, and Kn is natural capital, that is in terms of natural resources, and labor is converting those capitals into the productive production. Now only then will the role of natural resources be taken into account. So natural capital in terms of natural resources is contributing to the environmental factors, and that is why environmental factors have to be given quite importance in terms of production function. We can't ignore it, because the natural resources are an important factor of production taking place in a country. So as we want to produce more, as we want more production, as we want more development, as we want more employment, as we want more income of the people, then automatically it will lead to more depletion of natural resources, and as more depletion of natural resources, more waste will come out in the form of gases, in the form of pollutants, in the forms of acid rain, in the form of degradation of land. So these things will have to be taken into account. Next slide. Now that was the first law of thermodynamics. Now we come to the second law of thermodynamics. Entropy law is a measure of disorder in a thermodynamic system. For example, heat moves itself from a hotter to a colder body. Energy in a piece of coal is low entropy, more order available for use. एंट्रोपी का मतलब होता है कि आपका जो डिसऑर्डर है वो कितना हो गया, मतलब वो ऑर्डर में है वो चीज या नहीं है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एंट्रोपी. एनर्जी इन अ पीस ऑफ कोल इज लो एंट्रोपी, दैट मीन्स इट इज मोर ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, इट इज अवेलेबल फॉर यूज. लेकिन एज सुन एज यू बर्न द कोल, as soon as you put the coal for burning in a electricity generating plant, the energy and all material in the coal is spread out. Energy takes another form, and high entropy, high disorder, not available for use. And then you cannot use coal in its raw form. That means the form has changed. So the first law says naturally that the energy is cannot disappear. It does not disappear. It just takes converts its form. But then we can't forget the fact that the process is irreversible, and that is why once the coal is burnt, you cannot use the coal in its acute, in its raw form, and then disorder is generated, that becomes disordered, and then it's not available for use in its acute form. So this is an example which talks about entropy. See, this is the entropy law. In a closed system, the use of matter energy causes a one-way flow from low entropy resources to high entropy resources, from order to disorder. As we just discussed the example of coal and burning of coal. So when coal is in its raw form, it is ordered. But as soon as you burn the coal, then it converts into high entropy resources or disordered mechanism. See, this flow chart talks about the whole process. The piece of coal is burnt, total amount of energy and material converted into heat, light, ash, carbon. All materials were inside the coal in an ordered form, so it was a low entropy, and now it converts itself into dissipated in a disordered form. So it becomes high entropy. When all these were concentrated in the coal, energy was available for use, and the arrow shows that it was a bound energy, low entropy, low disorder. But once all coal is burned, all molecules are spread out, all molecules are distributed in different forms, and it's available for use in the high entropy disorder. So whenever we do economic production, then it converts low entropy into high entropy resources, as we have burned the coal into electricity. It converts natural resources into pollution and waste. We can't forget that when we burn the coal into electricity generating plant, then the whole coal is not burnt and converts into electricity. Some coal is left out as a waste or residue, and it converts itself into pollutants or gases or acid. Therefore, more the production and consumption, more resources will be converted into pollutants. So we have to remember this fact, that if we want to produce more, if we want to meet the increasing demand of the people by increasing the supply and converting it into more production, then we have to see that how much we require in terms of natural resources and how much we are able to convert those natural resources into productive production. And automatically the wastage will also be more. So we have to develop those kinds of waste disposal mechanism which can stop the harmful effect of pollutants into the environment. So this is a natural part of economic activity, not due to inefficiency in production and consumption. So this whole process is not because we are not efficient, the country is not efficient in production and consumption, but this is just a natural part of economic activity, and that is why economics and environment cannot be separated, and the law of physics is should be applied here also. See, in linear system, as I already we saw that diagram where it goes into straight line, more economic production, then more natural resources are converted into the production and more wastage occurs. Pollutions and waste are not due to inefficiency again, but inherent in economic activity due to law of thermodynamics. And that is why here comes the importance of law of thermodynamics. The stock of low and available entropy resources is limited on earth, and that is why we need to convert. नहीं तो हमें ज़रूरत ही नहीं है, अगर लो एंट्रोपी रिसोर्सेज को हम एज इट इज़ अबंडेंट क्वांटिटी में यूज़ कर सकते, तो हमको ज़रूरत ही नहीं थी कि हम उस लो एंट्रोपी रिसोर्स को कन्वर्ट करें इनटू हाई एंट्रोपी रिसोर्स। जैसे हमने कोल को बर्न किया इलेक्ट्रिसिटी में, हमें ये ज़रूरत ही नहीं, क्योंकि कोल तो मिलता ही रहे फिर। बट द प्रॉब्लम इज़ दैट द नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज आर लिमिटेड इन क्वांटिटी, and that is why this is getting converted. This process goes on, and the conversion is from automatically from low entropy to high disordered or high entropy law. So this is how we should maintain the equilibrium of economy and environment, and interconnection between economy and environment becomes important, because as we use more natural resources to produce economic goods, it will automatically generate more pollution. So we need to balance those three things together. So this is a conclusion of entropy law, that we are converting a linear system into circular system, depicted in the previous diagram. Then all waste should be recycled, more efficient disposal mechanism of waste should be developed, this can be reused in the economy. Like जो भी हमारे रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज हैं उनको हमें रीयूज़ करने का मैकेनिज़्म डेवलप करना पड़ेगा। जैसे कि जो आपका नेडा है, नॉन कन्वेंशनल एनर्जी एंड डेवलपमेंट एजेंसी, वो हमें बताता है कि जैसे सोलर पैनल्स है, अपना सोलर पैनल इज़ गोइंग टू कन्वर्ट एनर्जी इन अ मोर प्रोडक्टिव मैनर. So that is why we are talking about reusing the natural resources in a more productive manner in the economy, so that on the one hand the pollution is stopped, and on the other hand we are not going into more disordered kind of energy transfer. The economic system can continue without environmental problems if we keep in mind this entropy law and the laws of thermodynamics taking place, or we understand that we have to maintain the equilibrium between the pollution, the economic activity, and the use of natural resources. So this is the entropy law, which you need to understand. We will put this PPT in your group along with the one more PDF on entropy law, because it is a difficult chapter to be found in the books, textbooks. टेक्स्ट बुक हमने आपको ऑलरेडी बता रखी हैं, जैसे एक एम एल झिंगन की है इन्वायरमेंटल इकोनॉमिक्स, यू कैन बाय इट, और environmental economics by Karpagam, you can buy. U Shankar is there. This paper is very important for your competitive examinations also, because now in many of you are aspiring maybe for civil services and competitive examinations. So environment has assumed so much importance now that all students are expected to know these kinds of issues and be able to write the answers. What is a acid rain, for example? So now I think you all are clear that how do we define acid rain. What is entropy? Now you must be clear about what entropy is. The ordering of the natural resources, the conversion of energy from low order to high order. So that way it this paper is giving you the insight into these critical issues with which we deal with in economics also. Thank you so much. If you want to ask anything. Otherwise, the Diksha, you can put this in the group, this PPT, and the PDF also, which I sent you on the mail yesterday night, the laws of two laws of thermodynamics, so that you can write. We will, all of you are requested to join in the Google Classroom. As we have finished Unit 1, now I will be giving 2 assignments on that, and plus posting the questions on the WhatsApp group also. You can submit your assignments in the Google Classroom, and within 1 week, like the date of putting the questions, and automatically 1 week submission date will be there. After that, no assignments will be submitted. So Anushka and Rebecca, please see to that they all are added. Take the help of Diksha and do it. Some people have given wrong mail IDs or something like that, so please connect with the 2 class reps of your class and try to solve it and be added as soon as possible. Now the second unit is what? Can anyone tell me?
Environment with development.
Second unit starts with environment versus development. Then read it, unit 2, if you have on your phone.
Relation between development and environmental stress, environmental Kuznets
हाँ, Kuznets का.
concept of sustainable development,
Okay.
resource and resource scarcity,
Okay.
uncertainty and rate of resource extraction.
Yeah. Okay. And anything else? No. So, unit 2, we will just discuss what are the important topics. I hope that first unit is clear now. In the second unit, we start with the general discussion which we have been doing till now, that development versus environment. And the whole question, the whole discussion revolves around this, that on the one hand, we talk about economic development of the country, and as soon as we talk about the development of the country, we use natural resources for the production, and as we use more natural resources for the production, then there is the depletion of natural resources on the one hand, and on the other, there are more pollutants emitted in the environment. So this is how you have to write a general answer on this question, that being the student of this paper, how do you give a solution to this? Because economists talk one sided approach of development, and development or growth in terms of quantitative indicators, like if GNP is growing, if GDP is growing, if national income is growing, we say that our economic growth is happening. And if economic growth is happening, we presume that economic development is also taking place in terms of quality of life of the people, the standard of living of the people, the health of the people. These things are going to be improved, ये हम assume करके चलते हैं. But now there is a whole discussion in the academics that we forget the fact that this economic development is not happening. Economic growth is happening. The quantitative indicators are on rise, but then it is creating lot of inequalities also. Like you have studied in characteristics of developing economy. आपने BA फर्स्ट ईयर में पढ़ा था पेपर 2 में, कि इंडिया की कुछ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स हैं जिसकी वजह से हम इंडिया को टर्म करते हैं एज अ अंडर डेवलप्ड और डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमी. Now revise that. That is my suggestion to you. You revise that. Now, if you see, there are so many points which we did. Inequality of asset distribution. Only 1% of India's population hold more than 90% of assets. So, this much inequality is there, right? So, how can you say that the majority of the population is having a good quality of life? How can you say that majority of the population is healthy? How can you say that the majority of the population is educated? So this is how you talk about the general discussion and frame a background that development is not happening. And if development is not happening, we need to discuss certain other issues also besides the quantitative indicators which economists have been talking about, like the abstract statistics which we were talking about, the data which we are talking about in Indian economy all the time. Now we need to develop a interdisciplinary approach. We need to develop a social science approach, like how when we make a policy, how it's going to affect the society. That also we need to see how it is going to. We can't just function in an abstract manner, in abstract facts and figures. So talk about that, and then you say that one area where we don't pay attention to is environment. Industries, more industries means blindly we follow industrial development. We अब आप इंडिया की इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी को थोड़ा सा पढ़िए, जो कि आपने बीए फर्स्ट ईयर में अगेन पढ़ा था. India's industrial development, industrial revolution. Just go into that, uh, basic study. रुद्रदत्त और सुंदरम, एन अग्रवाल, मिश्रा और पुरी, जो भी आपके पास टेक्स्ट बुक है इंडियन इकोनॉमी की, just go through that once again, that chapter, and develop a perspective, because everything can't be spoon fed now. Now you are in third year. So develop that understanding कि इंडस्ट्रियल रिवॉल्यूशन में हम पूरे टाइम ये बात करते हैं कि जितनी इंडस्ट्रीज डेवलप होंगी उतना ज़्यादा कंट्री प्रोग्रेस करेगा. बट क्या ऐसा हुआ? नहीं. आज की डेट में इंडिया की जो इनइक्वालिटीज़ हैं वो और ज़्यादा वाइड स्प्रेड हो गई. सो वाई इट इज़ सो? टेक आउट सम डेटा एंड ट्राई टू कंपेयर इट विथ सम अदर कंट्रीज. फॉर एग्जाम्पल सिंगापुर. Singapore is so small in terms of area and size in comparison to India. But then why it has been able to progress in comparison to, India? Because it has been able to, solve these problems which we are not able to. We have never been able to decide on these kinds of issues which affect environment, which affect health of the people. Blindly we are generating more industries, we are giving licenses to the industries. Now the government is realizing, no, we have done it wrong. Now we have to pay more attention to environment also. We have to pay more attention to interdisciplinary kind of study. इसीलिए now this paper has come as a compulsory paper in your third year, because now we want our students to develop this kind of perspective. So my suggestion is, just go through your BA1 Indian economy book, try to study these two chapters: characteristics of India as an underdeveloped country or developing economy, number one, and second, the industrial development, the economic development. And then talk about, I want you to, discuss it, start with the beginning, make some points. And whoever wants to share your screen, I'll be giving you that opportunity in the next class to share your screen and tell me those points which tell us that whether economic development has really not affected, generated the problems, has solved the problems or not. and then we come to this versus wala topic, that really it has not done so. We will conclude that, and then we will come to this environment, that is why we need to pay attention to the environment. And then comes the other topic, which is called sustainable development. So sustainable development in itself is a separate topic. First topic, general topic, is development versus environment, which is a general answer which you must prepare. The second is sustainable development. The third is resource and resource extraction, where we talk about resources. How do you define the resources? Renewable resources, non renewable resources, एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, ये सारे टर्म्स हैं जिनके बारे में हम बात करेंगे, एंड हाउ टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम्स. So in a way there are three topics which we will be dealing with in unit 2. This is your homework where for your unit 2 start, which you will do. You will prepare a slide presentation like Diksha has done today for you. You will be doing learning from your seniors, and do your PPT, 10 slides, not more than that. Make it, and then we will allow 2 or 3 girls to present your screen here. And I think all of you must try to do that effort, because now online system needs to be strengthened, and without your help we cannot, because we have been in that era. Now we are learning so much from you all. So I want all of you to present those points. Maybe one can present the India as an underdeveloped or developing economy. Then one can develop the industries, why we paid so much emphasis to industries, not agriculture. Now again we are going back. Niti Aayog is saying now again we have to pay more attention to agriculture, which we neglected for so many times. So talk about the sectors of the economy: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Like now we pay more attention to primary sector, earlier we didn't. And that is why all the problems of pollution and climate change and global warming has occurred, and this COVID might be one reason of that only. So we have to see that how we are going, these viruses, these bacteria, these kinds of diseases are occurring because of the disturbance taking place in the balance of the economy, in the balance of the whole earth is disturbed. So talk about that. Okay, and then we continue this topic in the next class. Thank you so much for today's class.